What's going on, guys? It's your boy Brad back with another video, and what I wanted to do in this one is I wanted to address the question that I commonly get: how many hours a day should I study?
Are you listening? Nurse Pass. Beast mode. Grinding. Yeah.
Now, most of you guys probably aren't going to like this. Like I said, I've gotten this question a lot, so a lot of people are curious. You're probably not going to like this because there's not an answer. It is all based on your individual needs. But you can have a good gauge for if you are studying adequately or sufficiently, or if you need to be putting more time into your studies. You should sit down and study some material, right? Let's just say you're talking about ABGs. Sit down and read about ABGs. Then read about ABGs again. Then put that PowerPoint or textbook or whatever your source of material was, put that away. And now say it out loud. Talk about ABGs. What's a normal pH? 735 to 745. Bicarbonate, 22 to 26. CO2, 3545. How do we regulate these things? Respiration, ventilation, kidneys with the bicarb. And teach it out loud to the wall. If you can do that, and what you're saying is correct, do it again. From beginning to end, reteach the wall that material again. And once you're able to do that, then you should be comfortable enough with that material. Then you can move on to the next thing. So it's not like you should be studying 3 hours per day every day, and 2 hours before class and 2 hours after class. I can't give you those numerical values. It's all individual based. But you should study in that manner. Now, let's say that you had a test coming up and it was on ABGs and heart failure and acute respiratory distress syndrome. Those three topics. Like I said, when we started off with ABGs, that's the way that you should study ABGs. And you should not move on to heart failure. You should not move on to a new concept until you have this one down pat. Because that's a massive mistake that a lot of people make. I myself made it, and that's why I'm saying, hey, don't do it. Because whenever you do those kinds of things, you go into the ABGs like we just talked about, and you read about it once. You read about it twice and feel like you got a decent grasp on it. Before you go teach it to the wall, you jump into heart failure. Now, what you've done is you have not solidified ABGs into your brain. You've just read over it 1 or 2 times and feel comfortable with the material, so you move on to heart failure. And once you move on to heart failure and you begin to try and take on new information, you didn't solidify ABGs in your brain, and therefore that ABG knowledge that you just read about is going to get a little bit muddy, a little bit blurry as you try to take on heart failure. It's a true mastery of concepts before you move on to a new concept. And so, like I said, that's a great point, so take that to heart. But like I said, it just depends on how long it takes you to master that concept. If you're studying 2 or 3 hours a day and you don't feel like you're mastering that concept, you know what ABGs are, arterial blood gas, and you know that CO2 is regulated by the lungs and bicarb is by the kidneys, but you don't know that bicarb acts as a buffer and it binds with free hydrogen ions in order to form carbonic acid to raise the pH to a more alkalinic state. So if a patient had, if they were acidotic, we might give them bicarb to bring the pH up to a more homeostatic level. If you can't begin to link these concepts, then you need to put more time into it. Maybe those 2 or 3 hours a day is not sufficient. Maybe you need to make adjustments here and there. You know, if you go to the gym for 1.5 hours a day, maybe only go for an hour. Save yourself 30 minutes there, save yourself 30 minutes here, and make time as needed in order to truly master those concepts. So I'm sorry, that's why I said you might not like this answer, because it is very much dependent upon you as the individual. But that's a great way to approach things. And if you approach your studies that way, by taking the time to master a concept before you move on to the next one, then you are going to be set. You are going to be set. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm putting out content every week to motivate, uplift, and inspire you to be the best damn nurse you can be. It's your boy Nurse Bass, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.